Okay. So most commonly asked question, because we love to layer, right? Well, first of all, let's start off. Why do you want women to layer?
Why do I want women to layer? Well, personally, I love layering. Layering is my jam. But I know it's not everybody's jam from a style perspective. But what I think that layering does is it gives you such a great opportunity to not only personalize your look, but also to camouflage. And I think as a midlife woman who, has a little bit extra around the middle, maybe you've got some rolls, you've got some back fat, you've got something going on that you want to camouflage, throw in that third layer and boom, it's gone. And so it can really pull your look together, and it can also visually take off pounds. But I think also one of my favorite ways to layer, and one of my favorite things to do to encourage clients to do, is to start with the column of color, which is kind of our signature. But when you wear a matching top and bottom, it just creates a long, lean line. It can make you look taller, it can make you look thinner, and it can be super easy to get dressed. And then you pull in that third layer, and it's like it pulls that, it brings in that polish. It just brings it all together, and then you can change it. You can have a kimono on, and it can look a little flowy and boho. You could have a denim jacket on, and it can look a little bit more casual, or you can put a blazer on. So you have so many different options. But I love that third layer, so you can customize your look as well as covering up anything you don't want to show.
When did you first discovering the magic power of layering? Because I didn't layer before I started at StyleFinder. And I realize now that was one of the biggest issues I had getting dressed. I didn't have that layer, and so it was difficult in transitional seasons. I was either too hot, too cold, didn't have the right item. So how did you discover, you call it the magic power of the third layer. How and when did that come about for you?
Gosh, I think, I really discovered the magic power, the secret power of the third layer really when I was probably in middle school. But my third layers looked so different back then. I was very into dressing very preppy, but I would wear pullover sweaters. I'd have my button downs, and I'd have my monogrammed pullover sweaters as my third layer. Or I'd wear the big blouse with the tie and a blazer. And my jodhpurs or my capris or clam daggers or whatever. And just loved, what I really loved was the feeling of bringing it all together. It was okay, once I put that third layer on, I just felt finished, I felt polished, I was I'm done. I've always loved coats. And I think for me, it's just that feeling of, being finished, being polished, you're complete. And it's interesting because my sister does not layer. She does not love layers like I do.
Some women don't.
Yeah, a lot of women don't. And it's fine, it's such a personal thing. But I found that there are a lot of women who have never known how to layer, and once they get started, they're like, oh my gosh, who knew? Who knew it could not only transform your look, but it could be so simple.
Now I kind of feel naked if I don't have my layer on.
Right.
So you just discovered this on your own. You were in middle school and you're oh, I feel good. And you just carried that on through life. No one taught you. No one was hey, you should have this on. You just kind of instinctually
Well, I think
carried that with you.
For me, it was very much an evolution, a natural evolution. But I remember becoming a style coach and reading everything. And I remember reading about, third layers. I had never called them third layers. But I remember reading about them being called third layers. I'm I'm already doing that. Now there's a phrase for it. Now there's a term for it. Now here are new ways to wear them, new ways to utilize them. Because honestly, I'd never really thought about it. I had never thought about, I just did it instinctually. I did what felt good to me. I did what I liked, how it looked.
You were doing the right thing. You just didn't know why it was the right thing, kind of.
Exactly. I didn't have that clarity. And that's what I found with so many women is a lot of women gravitate towards the right colors or the right styles or the right shapes, but they don't have the clarity. And so they still are lacking in that confidence because they can't say for certain, oh my gosh, this blue is my blue, or this eggplant, this is such a great color for me. And I think that kind of undermines confidence. So what I found is that when women take our courses and they find out their signature colors, their shapes, their body type, their silhouettes, their style type, then they can say for sure, I'm classic, or I'm an apple, or I'm this, or I'm that. And then they can really personalize their look, they can customize their look. And I think that alone, that clarity alone, gives them so much confidence.
Well, it's funny you say that because you're talking about clarity for like what works. And for me, I have found that through trial and error and learning, understanding what does not work for me is almost just as powerful, if not more. Because when you don't understand why something doesn't work, when you see it on other people, you keep trying to make the style work, right? Like the traditional cable knit, like fisherman style sweaters look terrible on me, but I didn't understand it was the boxy silhouette and the length wasn't right for me and all of those things. So I see other people in them and they look great. I keep trying them on and feeling bad about myself, and then finally I just kind of was able to understand, right, the fabric or the silhouette or the style wasn't right for me, like it didn't match with my personal style. So for a lot of women, understanding what works, I think understanding why something doesn't work also helps them understand, you know, what looks good, but then you don't feel bad when it doesn't work. Because most of the time if something doesn't work, we feel like it's us, our body's changed, we've gained weight, or something's like not right. And it's just that style.
That's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say we can go there. Do you want us to go there?
Well, you brought up something good that I do want to touch on, because this is another question I get asked all the time. Why is it called a third layer? Because a lot of women say, well, isn't that the second
Well, for you,
layer?
For you, it would be the second layer because you have on a dress and a jacket.
Okay.
But I think typically if you have on pants, a shirt, and then you put it on, it becomes your third piece.
Interesting, because when I thought third layer, I was thinking third layer of like what you're actually wearing. So I was thinking first layer would be the foundation garments. Second layer is your dress or your top and your bottom. And then third layer is the jacket, the kimono, the cardigan, whatever it might be. Because if you don't have the right foundation garments, then the other pieces may not lay correctly, or you might not look as polished, right? If you're wearing a halter style, you know, dress, but you have your traditional bra strap, like it doesn't look complete or polished. So it's interesting to hear you say that, because my brain went in a completely different direction with the third layer. So
Well, I guess it could be third, like your
I mean,
bra,
it's open to interpretation,
your top,
yeah.
and then your jacket or your kimono or your cardigan.
Yeah.
It could be that. I've always interpreted it as pants, a top, and then that's the third piece that you put on. I think because in this day and age, you know, pants and a top have become so popular for women.
Right.
So, but you touched on something earlier about women not feeling good about themselves.
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, I think this is one of the biggest challenges women face when they go to get dressed or when they go shopping.
Right.
You know, it used to be you'd go into the mall, you'd see something on the mannequin or on the dress form, or you saw something on your friends, and you see that, you're like, I want to wear that.
Yeah.
And then you put it on, what happens? It doesn't fit right, it's not your best color, maybe the silhouette doesn't flatter you. But what I've found more times than not is that women don't bother to come out of the fitting room or try on another size or try on another piece. They simply stand in the fitting room alone, staring in the mirror, saying, there's something wrong with me. I must be too fat. I need to go lose 20 pounds. And they'll make a beeline for the door because they feel bad about themselves.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because when we first opened StyleFinder 9 years ago, we specifically did not put mirrors in the fitting rooms.
I remember you telling me that for that reason. You were like forcing them to come out.
Yes, because we wanted women to come out and show us, and then we could say, hey, you need to go up a size in those jeans, down a size in that top, and then you need to add a third layer. You need a jacket, or maybe we need to switch colors. Or maybe that dress just isn't right for your body type. And so I think a lot of women make themselves wrong, and then they don't take the time to find what's right.
Yeah, they're not equipped with that knowledge to understand what works, what doesn't work. Or maybe they know, okay, this doesn't work for me, like we've talked about, but they don't understand the why, so they don't know how to rectify the outfit. Yeah.
And the other thing I've seen happen time after time is that women will see their friends wearing something. Oh, I want to wear that. And I remember specifically, a woman was in our fitting room one day. Her name was Anne. She was trying something on. She tried on this dress. She looked beautiful. And meanwhile, another client came in who knew Anne, and she was like, oh my God, you look so good. I want to look that good. Let me try that dress on. Because in her mind, looking that good meant wearing the exact same dress. She tried this, and I tried to talk her out of it. I said, you know what? I'm not sure that's the right dress for you. She put it on, and she came out of the fitting room, shoulders hunched over, like, you must be better than me. You're thinner than me. You look prettier than me. And I was like, oh no, ladies. I said, let's look in the mirror and let's go through this.
Yeah.
Let's talk through why this is better for her, but it's not your best dress.
Did you find the right dress for her?
Okay. And so first of all, what I did was I pointed out, I said, this doesn't work. This works for her because she's not as large in the bust. This works for her because she has a different shape. She's not as hippie. This works for her because her coloring is different, which was huge with the color of the dress. Yeah. And I said, you know what? Let's watch this magic. And so I went and I picked out a dress that I knew was going to just light her up. And when she put it on, it was like the light bulb went off. Yeah. Like now I see I am good enough. I don't need to lose weight. I can be beautiful, but my looking beautiful doesn't look like hers.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny that you mentioned that too, because I feel like I kind of have I feel like I have my own personal beef with influencers these days because of that same reason, right? So they might look good in an outfit and it doesn't look good on you. But beyond that, they can help you get a good outfit and you might get on nearly great, but then you only have one outfit and you still don't have the tools to know why the outfit works for you, why it doesn't, how you can mix and match that with other pieces in your closet. So then you might just be buying all these outfits that you see, but you're still confused. You're still not really, understanding what works for your body shape, why or why not. So while I think they're great for inspiration, I kind of have my own little beef with the influencers these days.
Well, I think it encourages women to be outfit repeaters. And while, I have mixed feelings about repeating outfits. If you have an outfit you love, why not repeat it? Yeah. However, it's when you repeat it over and over and over and over because you don't know what else to wear, that's when it becomes a problem. Or when it becomes your formula and that you feel like that's the only formula or that's the only outfit you can put together, then you're stuck because you don't really understand what works for your body type. You don't understand what works for your coloring or how to mix and match. Yeah. But I think like what I've seen you teach and what we teach at StyleFinder is what? Building the capsule, right? Right. And so tell me about that.
Yeah, so that's perfect. That kind of brings me into like what I have right here, a few pieces, because it's interesting, you're talking about outfit repeating, and I love to wear a lot of dresses. Dresses are my go-to in the summertime, but I think the downfall of dresses is they're only so versatile because you can only add one additional layer a lot of times. So with this dress, I have different denim jackets, liquid leather jackets. I could add the ruana, but what I love is, our basic black dress, and then to show all the different ways that we can style it, right? So we have the beautiful lightweight sheer kimono, which is perfect for our ladies who like to layer, but it is too hot in the summer. That is like the number one complaint that I hear over and over. And now I'm a cold girl, so I still bring my jackets and wear them inside because I'm always cold, especially in restaurants. They always seem to have the AC blasting. And so in that instance, I love the dress with the liquid leather jacket, kind of like our staple go-to, what we're known for here at StyleFinder, like our number one selling jacket over and over again. So good, so easy, so lightweight, and great for travel. That's something we talk about all the time, right? How to pack for travel. I also love you can take a simple black dress and then elevate it for a wedding. So this dress can be worn for so many different occasions, right? We kind of had more like a casual, laid back, we have more of an elegant. And then you also can take a great denim jacket and make it casual. So with one dress, but the 4 layers, right, we just got 5 different outfits because you can still wear the dress by itself. So that, I think, was one of my biggest takeaways with wearing the layers, is that it just gives you so much more versatility within your closet, and it gives you more options so you don't feel like your outfit repeating and you don't get bored with your clothing. That was my biggest complaint when I started at StyleFinder, my biggest struggle, because I outfit repeated. I didn't know how to mix. I didn't have the right pieces to mix and match. It was like a sweater and jeans, and that was all I had. I didn't have my tops and my jackets and my kimonos and all those other things. So now I have a lot more fun in my closet, and I mix old pieces. I took a sweater and a skirt that I had both had in my closet for two years, the sweater, 3 years for the skirt. And I finally put them together years later and had a whole new outfit, and it felt fresh and fun and new. So Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Well, I think when you can take your new pieces, it's like take what's new, but take what's new. I'm sorry.
New to you, right?
Take what's new and mix it with what you already have.
Yeah.
I think so many women hit a point where they fall into a rut, or they just come up against a wall. They're like, I'm tired of wearing the same thing over and over and over. But they mistakenly feel like they just need to do a clean sweep.
Yeah.
They need to get rid of everything in their closet. But what I've found is it's just that small tweak. And what I've been teaching and so many of my courses and even my jump starts is you just need that one spark of inspiration.
Take what's old and make it new to you.
Exactly. So take what's already in your closet, bring in, maybe it's a new color combination, maybe it's a new piece, maybe it's a new way to wear something.
Yeah.
I saw a picture the other day where someone had styled a men's blazer. She had flipped it around, she had put a cummerbund on it, she belted it, it looked fantastic. So she took it out of context.
Yeah.
Very unexpected. Maybe you wear the wrong shoe, or maybe you layer something in a new and different way. But that is a wonderful way to take what you already have and get way more mileage. And instead of needing an entirely new wardrobe, maybe you just need a few new good pieces.
Yeah.
So
those boring basics, I never used to shop by like what I needed. I just bought what was fun and exciting. And for me, that was like sequins and glitter and like bold colors. And that was something else that led to my struggles. Was I basically had like loungewear or club wear. You know, my early like I didn't have anything in between, and so that always was so frustrating for me when I was getting dressed and getting ready to go out somewhere. I never had what I needed. So I've learned that the boring basics, right, they're not fun to buy necessarily, but they're fun to wear later on because it makes getting dressed so much easier down the road. So those basics have come in handy.
I like to say that if it's boring, a lot of people, I remember years ago, a client that I took shopping, we were trying to buy some staples. We were trying to build her a professional wardrobe. And I remember showing her this great set. It was a great, it was a column dress with a jacket. And she looked at me and she said, that is so boring. I said, it's not boring, it's basic. It's basic. And so I want you to look at that and say, you know what, I can split them apart. Sure, worn together, they might be a little dry. But you could still amp them up with some great accessories.
But I'm sure you accessorized her.
Accessories are key. But when you split them apart, and then you have a great chic dress. It was charcoal gray. I'm like, put a Chanel-inspired jacket with it, put a moto jacket with it, put a great cardigan with it, belt it, wear some pumps, wear some heels, wear some sneakers, wear some wedges, wear some great necklaces. You can get so much mileage from this one piece. And the same with the blazer. Sure, you can wear them together, but split them up, and then you have two great pieces. The price on them was fantastic. I'm like, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be the foundation of your wardrobe. And we talk so much about our wardrobe building blocks and our evergreen products. And so when you have those pieces that are evergreen, that are the building blocks, the foundation of your wardrobe, if you don't have those, that's what's going to make you struggle. And especially if you don't have those building blocks in a size that works for you. Yeah. Right?
And that cost per wear will definitely come down to with those.
Talk about that. Tell me about cost per wear.
Well, you know what's so funny? So I obviously learned about cost per wear here when I started working at StyleFinder, right? So taking the item, looking at the price tag, and then kind of breaking it down by how many times you wear it. So I find that what I do now is when I get a new piece of clothing, I wear it a lot when I first get it. Like I'll probably wear it once a week because I'm trying to get down my cost per wear. I want to be like, I want to make this, outfit or this piece work for me. So typically that's how you can tell when I have a new item, because I will recycle it. I'm always, styling it differently, and that's kind of fun with like experimenting, bringing those older pieces, making them feel fun and fresh and new. And I was looking in my closet the other day, I put a great winter outfit together. I was like, ooh, this sweater and this skirt, same color, great. I have a monochromatic outfit for next December. I'm not wearing it now. But yeah, I think that's part of the fun. And then sometimes that also gives you inspiration for the items that you already have. Like I mentioned, I had those two pieces in my closet for years, but I never thought to wear them together. And I think experimenting also just helps you become more bold and daring with your fashion choices. And I think in the beginning, everyone's always kind of a little bit more subtle, and we push them, with our style sessions, really get them outside of their style comfort zone. But it's that defaulting, that area where people feel safe. But I think when you can experiment within the safety of your own home, in your own closet with pieces that you're comfortable with, it kind of helps break out of that style box, I guess.
For sure. What I've seen happen over in the Midlife Makeover membership is our ladies, I'll give them a prompt, or they'll see each other and they'll get inspired, and they'll try to interpret each other's outfits, or they'll pull things out and wear them in new and different ways.
Yeah.
And some of the outfits I've seen these women wearing are incredible. I'm like, oh my gosh, no, who would have thought about that?
Yeah.
And so they're wearing what they already have in new and different ways. They're inspiring each other, but it's all done in a safe space. So they're not worried about posting their pictures, and they get feedback. Hey, what do you think about this? Do you like these pants or do you like these pants? So it's been a great place to kind of, that testing ground, if you will.
Yeah, if you don't have anyone to ask, I mean, what's your husband gonna say?
Sure,
look great and everything. Good. Yeah, and they're colorblind as is. But that reminded me of something else I was gonna say about, I don't know what it was about, experimenting or playing or something. Golly, I can't remember it now. Oh, it was so good.
Inspiration.
Oh, I know what I was gonna say. That's one of my favorite things about the live shows, when we take two pieces we have here and we put them together, and then the ladies will comment and they're like, oh my gosh, I have those pieces. Never thought to wear them together. Now I'm going to do that. So they're not buying anything that's new. They already have these items, but they're getting the inspiration from us here. So that always is one of my favorite kind of happy coincidences that happens on the shows. Yeah.
I love that. One thing that I had happen recently on the Jumpstart, I had all these women from all over the place, and I asked them, I said, where do you go for style inspiration? And I'm thinking Instagram or Pinterest or magazines or something. So many women told me the StyleFinder live shows. I mean, it was like woman after, post after post after StyleFinder Live, StyleFinder Live, Style. And several of them even posted screenshots. I'm like, this is amazing. Because I think what we do here is we do show women, hey, here's some pieces you might already have in your closet, but we're going to mix those in with what's new, which can really inspire someone to take what they've had in their closet for a year, 2 years, or however long, and mix it with what's new. It's not always about bringing in new things, but it is that continual tweak.
Just a few pieces.
Just a few pieces. Like, hey, let me bring in current, let me bring in some fresh colors, some patterns, some textures, some new accessories. And this is what's going to breathe new life into something that maybe I haven't worn in a while, or was feeling a little bit stale.
Well, that reminds me too of another great shopping tool that I learned from you is the rule of 3, right? So before you bring something into your closet, think about 3 outfits you can create with other pieces that you already have. And I think that's helped with the cost per wear, with also, I think, just identifying what your style is. Because then you're, if you're thinking about the item, you're like, oh, I don't really have anything else to go with that. Maybe that's not really my style aesthetic. I like it and I can enjoy it, but maybe that's not really, what's representative of me. So that has always been a big one too. And it's easier to say no, or, like we said, to kind of justify that cost per wear and say, okay, yes, this is the right item for me. It's not going to just hang in my closet.
I think it can be really easy to be drawn to something. I'm really drawn to that color or that texture, or that reminds me of something I saw my sister wear last week, and feel this connection to something, but it may not be right for you.
You get excited with that dopamine hit.
Right, exactly. But I think to really try it on and think it through. And so I've got several clients in our membership who they think it through, and they'll even take it home. They'll try it on multiple ways, or they'll try it on with different things in the store. And really make sure, okay, I have to have at least three outfits I can create with this. But sometimes it becomes glaringly clear, this is just not the right piece for me. And it may fit, it may, it may fit you, it may be the right color for you, but it just may not be right for you on some level. And I always tell clients, if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. And I don't want women to fall into that trap of, well, I should wear this because it's my best color. Well, it might be your best color, but you might not love it. I've had things like that in my closet before. I'm like, I should wear this. And then finally, years ago, I was like, all right, I'm not wearing any shows. We're better than that. We deserve to honor our bodies and honor ourselves and wear what lights us up, not what is just okay. We're better than that.
If you're wearing it because you think you should, you're not going to be happy, and that's going to be obvious.